Robin Martinez from Eventful Magic, and I'm here with Chloe Peterson, who's an artist from Merced, and we have all kinds of fun questions to ask her. I've known Chloe for, how long have you and John been together?
Just over 10 years.
So, a decade. I've known Chloe for about a decade. That's crazy to think about.
I know. It's so weird.
Yeah.
It feels like not that long, but it also feels like a long time.
Yeah.
So.
It's crazy. Okay, so I'm finally interviewing her. She's literally my favorite artist. So, Chloe, who are you and where are you from? Tell everybody.
Well, I am from Merced in the middle of California. I've lived here my whole life. I've lived in probably every part of town. Not an exciting, eventful childhood. But, you know, good childhood.
That's good. It's always good to have a good childhood.
Yeah, I mean, I was like a really indoorsy kid. I would watch cartoons all the time and draw and read books and just kind of like quietly entertain myself, which I still do all the time. Most of the time still, actually.
You're still indoors. Well, you like the outdoors sometimes, but
yeah,
you appreciate it more as an adult.
It's pretty. It's very inspiring to me. I love looking at trees, specifically things like that. But I don't want bugs on me, is really the thing.
Like, you wouldn't go camping and like live outside. You would just visit.
I've been camping, and it's okay if I have to be there.
If it's not your choice.
Yeah.
So, what are 3 things that you want people to know about you? Just fun facts about Chloe.
Fun facts.
Or they could be unfun. Any kind of facts about you.
I think they're fun. They might not sound fun to a lot of people, but I think they're fun. So, I have horrible anxiety and apparently depression, which I always forget that I have. I also have agoraphobia, which I did not realize until I looked at the summary of one of my doctor's visits, and I was like, oh, I have agoraphobia. That explains a lot of things. And actually, one of the things about agoraphobia that a lot of people don't realize is that it's not just like open spaces, it's like fear of being trapped in places, not being able to find an exit, which made so much sense to me because like I hate going places where like I can't get out easily, or like I have to be there, or even just being in my car sometimes I would have panic attacks.
Do you like to, like when you go places, do you like to scope it out and like see how you can get out if it gets busy or overwhelming?
I like to feel like I can freely move around and like come and go, and if I don't feel like that, even if it's not like a rule, I impose rules on myself to where I can't do this, I can't do that, and then that makes me freak out, which is so fun. So
so definitely no haunted houses, no escape room.
Well, I actually grew up in a haunted house, and I like haunted houses. I love all that stuff, like, a lot. It's very interesting to me. I think I would freak out if I was in a haunted house.
Like if you were
while
trapped
something super scary was happening. I would probably have a heart attack, but at the same time, it would be exciting.
I would freak out. I don't like ghosts.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of scary, but also just like, wow, what is that? How is it happening? So first thing basically is like mental illnesses and stuff, and that's not like a fun fact, but I think it's an important fact because I like to be very open about it. I've never really felt a stigma or felt the need to like not tell people about it, and I probably talk about it too much. Case in point is the first thing I talked about.
I think it's important that people understand, like, you can be a creative and productive person and still have all these things that you're working on, because it's not like there's something wrong with you. It's just it's just part of the makeup of who you are. Yeah. And it's something that you cope with or you don't. Yeah. And you're coping with it.
And honestly, as much as it's held me back, I don't think I would super change it to be different. Like if I could go back and like not be a horribly panicked mess. I don't know if I would go back and change that, because it really sucks a lot of the time, but you also learn a lot, and not only about yourself, but you learn about what's around you and you learn about how your brain works and what it's capable of doing, like, it's still crazy to me that your brain can make you think that you're having like a heart attack or that you're dying purely just out of nothing.
Yeah, like it just creates a panic out of absolute thin air.
Yeah, physically. Like,
and yeah, it affects you. You physically cannot, you have to stop what you're doing and figure out how to survive basically in that moment.
Yeah, it's so crazy. So 2 other things about me. Let's see. I like to draw. I like art. I like painting. I like creating anything that I can with whatever I have. And I have tried like every type of art or craft probably that there is.
Yeah, you're like an all medium artist.
Yeah,
like,
kind of.
I feel like if I gave you a bunch of different stuff in a pile, like you would make something out of it.
Yeah.
Or paint a picture of it, or take a photo of it,
Yeah.
or draw it. Or
Yeah. I mean, it's fun. I having been a quiet, indoor only child, I always had to like find ways to entertain myself or whatever, and so a lot of that was just like making my own fun with whatever I had. And I used to have a really vibrant imagination, and I'm trying to grab that back out from inside myself lately. But
it's hard when you're like a grown-up with responsibilities. You have to kind of become a child again.
Yeah.
That's what I've been figuring out.
And I thought that I was still a child because like I still watch cartoons, eat junk food, and don't really do a lot of other stuff.
That's being an adult. I feel like I do that a lot.
It apparently is. Yeah.
We're just really tall children.
Yeah.
Well, not that tall.
Oh, okay. So another thing about me is that I'm always trying to like draw or create, or at least just sketch mindlessly. I run into like art block a lot of the time, and it's so frustrating because like I have quite a big amount of free time, but I just feel like so much weight and pressure to do something and produce something and make something finished and good and that people are gonna like, and that ends up like psyching me out.
You get stuck and then you're like going in circles in your head about it.
Yeah. Exactly. And I think that a lot of artists go through that, and I know a lot of other artists talk about that kind of thing happening, and I think it's important to acknowledge your faults and your setbacks and, you know, things that you have a struggle with.
Yeah. And it's okay to be stuck because nobody else knows.
Yeah.
So the next thing they're going to see that you feel proud of, they're not going to know like what went on in your head going through that. They're just going to be like, oh, cool. Chloe came out with this really cool drawing. And you're going to be like, that took me a month just to break down the door to get there.
Honestly, a lot of the time, what's really popular is stuff that I think is super dumb. And I'm just like, 5 minutes.
I love it.
Sketching, and then everyone's like, this is great, put it on a shirt. And I'm like, I can't put this on a shirt, it's this big.
Yeah.
And it's in ballpoint pen.
Sometimes though, like those things are the best because you didn't overthink it. You weren't it's like effortless, but I mean obviously you did put in the effort, but you know, not to say you're not trying, but like, you know, like sculpting, you said you had to put this massive amount into it, and sometimes that's not what a masterpiece is. Sometimes a masterpiece is a 2-minute doodle on a napkin at a restaurant, which she does every single time we're anywhere at a party. She's either petting a cat, petting a dog, or doodling. So if you were going to define artist, like the term artist in Chloe terms, like how would you define artist to someone?
I think an artist is someone who is able to create whatever they feel inside themselves, whatever they see in the world around them, and they are able to be innovative and use their imaginations in such a way that it comes across in whatever medium they're producing their art, like whether it's a painting or sculpture or a photograph or a movie or a piece of music or whatever. I think that it's really beautiful that people can create things that make you feel something. Even like, what is it, Martha Rothko's color field paintings. They're just colors on giant canvases. I've never seen one in real life, but just looking at pictures of them, I'm like, wow.
Like, you might not feel how he felt when he made it, but it inspires you to feel something, and it kind of makes you feel more creative, almost.
Exactly, because things like color have such a huge influence on, you know, how we interpret things or perceive things, and how we feel, and what we're thinking, and how we react to things. It's insane that color can have such an impact, but it's also really cool. Like, I love color. I think about color all the time, which sounds weird, but like, I will sometimes for fun just make color schemes.
I do that too.
Yeah.
Like a palette of like,
Yeah.
I'm like, what do I want to do with this?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, honestly, it helps.
Yeah.
Because then you feel like you're, today I'm going to do greens and blues and purples, and tomorrow I'm going to get into the reds, and it's like cools and warms.
Yeah.
It's you can do so many things.
Yeah, and I'll collect like paint chips from stores like Lowe's or Home Depot. I will save magazine pages that have colors that are just like perfect together. I buy my markers individually based on like, you know, which color I'm really
Like sticks
feeling
out to
at
you.
the time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
which-
important to experiment with all that stuff because, I
Yeah.
mean, even if it turns out and you're like, oh, you're like, you know, for the future, those do not.
Yeah.
They don't go together.
And with paints too, I love mixing colors, and I end up making quite a mess on my palette just because I'll just keep mixing and mixing and mixing, and then I end up not using quite that much of that color.
Because you just want to see it.
I know,
You're
I
like
just want
mixing it and
more
you're like,
of it.
I love this, and you're like, but I'm only going to use right there.
And especially because everything I do is so small,
Mhm.
and I don't need that much paint, but it's just so nice. I love it. Like, I thought about color putting together this outfit, which is not a crazy outfit or whatever, but this blue, I love.
It's all about aesthetic.
And the blue with the yellow.
Oh,
at
I
the
know, with
ends
your
of my
hat.
hair.
Yeah, exactly. It does. It works. As soon as I saw you walk out of the house, I was like, oh, dang, look at Chloe.
It just kind of.
And your makeup goes with it really well, too. Like, she's also really good at makeup. I know that that's an art to a lot of people. And, I mean, look at her. This is a work of art right here. It is. She did that all herself. Okay.
That's another thing, too, is I love makeup, and I want to experiment more with it and stuff, but I am just sitting around the house all the time, so I don't really do it as much as I would like, but makeup is also really expensive.
Yeah, so if you you don't want to use it in one day just playing around with it, and then you can't use it when you go out or do something.
Or go buy like a white liquid eyeliner that I'm probably not going to wear outside the house, but I wanted so bad, I gotta get some.
Sometimes it's worth it.
I know, yeah.
I
Treat
don't do
yourself.
makeup, but I would let Chloe do my makeup. And I think I might actually let you do my makeup because that'd be fun.
Yeah.
Okay, so out in your community here in Merced or even just the Central Valley, like, how do you feel you help your community or interact with your community through your art?
Well, being an agoraphobic shut-in, I don't really get out into the community a whole lot, or maybe not as much as I would like. And I would say that is a mostly true statement because I don't know if I want to go out and do things. I do, but I don't. But I have worked in certain areas of the community, like the local arts community and stuff, like for the Merced Art Hop. I have made a couple years worth of issues of their magazines because I also do graphic design, because it's all about color. And those magazines, color is like the biggest thing for me in those, and I will
They look
spend
good, too.
hours on the color alone, like picking out what color this tiny little thing here is going to be with all the other little things that are like it. Like, I love doing that. And so with that magazine, I'm not the editor of it, I'm just the graphic designer, but I find that it's really important to focus on local arts community stuff happening around us because there's a lot of really cool things. Like, this town is kind of small or whatever, and you think that there's not a whole lot of stuff going on, but once you like dig into it, there really is, and it's crazy. Like,
and that's why the magazine's important too, so you can hear about it, and you're trying to make sure people know what's going on, and you're getting that color to like inspire them to go.
And I want people to keep turning the pages and being inspired by the magazine itself as well. So but like we have like a muralist company in town that's like crazy good, and they go and they'll paint stuff like on the sides of buildings and businesses and at schools, and I think that's really cool.
Is that ever something you would want to do?
I would love to do it, but I've never painted that big, and everything I do is tiny. So I'm like, I would have to practice.
Maybe you could do like 100 tiny murals.
Just piece them all together.
Yeah, like a tiles.
Yeah.
You've done art hop too, like you've shown your work and sold it and stuff, because I remember you did like a cactus, and I fell in love with that one.
Yeah, I did a couple of art hops. I haven't participated in a lot of them because I do the magazine, and then John, my boyfriend, also photographs the art hop and stuff, so a lot
for the
of the time I
newspaper
kind
and
of
stuff.
just hang around with him and everything. But the few times that I participated, it was really cool, and I had people coming in and talking to me and stuff, which I was like really nervous about, but they were all really nice, and it was cool and very like,
they're there for art, so that's always a positive.
Yeah, I don't know what I was nervous about or afraid of, because everyone was great. And the art hop is really cool because you get all these people coming down and looking at all this art, and everyone's just enjoying what's happening and like being nice to each other
out in
like,
the community, kids even.
Oh, I love the kids activities. I think that's so cool. I think it's so important to give kids creative outlets, because that's what I did, and my mom, we were always like making something. We would always be like crafting or painting. Like we would make little Christmas tree pins for Christmas. We would make little beaded
Your mom is so
thingies.
crafty too.
Yeah, I know.
You got to get them young.
Yeah,
get them young. Hook them on art young. Do you as an artist get inspired? Like, what is the biggest source of inspiration for you to just sit down and work on something, even if you're stuck, like you were talking about?
What inspires me the most is probably other artists. I know it's like really easy to look at somebody else's work and be like, oh, they're so much better than me, and I'll never be that good or whatever.
That killer comparison. You can't do it because everyone's so different. Their brains don't work like yours.
Yeah. But I do find that if you can avoid that negativity, it can be really helpful to look at other people's work and stuff and just absorb it and be inspired by it, and instead of turning that into like jealousy or envy or not feeling good about yourself, if you can take what you love so much about their work and like internalize it and utilize it for yourself, I think that that's really great. Like I'll spend a ton of time just like on Instagram looking at other artists' stuff and just being like mad, like
you're like, why are they so
good? It's not fair. But I'll just look at it and I'll just be like, you know what though, I could be great too. I can be. I am capable of it.
You don't let that self-doubt or like anger or frustration get in your way.
Yeah.
I feel like that's important, especially for younger artists. Like, don't be scared of doing badly. Don't be scared of making something ugly, because not everybody's going to think it's ugly, and you're not required to share it with other people. Sometimes you just have to do art for yourself.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many ugly photos I've taken. They're just straight up garbage, and then sometimes people look at them and be like, oh my god, that's amazing, and I'm like, you can have it. You can just take it away. Please get it out of my home.
That's the nature of the beast, really. It's there's no wrong way to do it. There's no right way to do it. But yeah, it's totally fine to like mess up or make something weird or ugly or whatever, and you don't have to share with anybody. I mean, most of what's in here, probably not a lot of people have seen like 90% of it.
Because that's basically your photo journal, like your
it's
sketch.
Just my outlet. Yeah.
You just need to work and cultivate, and
it's mostly for me. And if other people like it, that's cool. I don't mind if other people look at it or whatever. I just don't have the time to go through every single thing and post every single thing.
And share it, yeah.
Because there's so much.
So what are some ways that people can contact you if they want to get a commission or buy your work or just support you as an artist or ask you questions?
So for commissions and information about commissions, people can email me at helsabot@me.com. They can also go to patreon.com/helsabot to pledge a monthly donation sort of thing.
Helps you get like supplies.
Exactly.
So we're also going to be doing a giveaway of one of Chloe's art pieces, which I will show you in a little while. She's super talented, so you're definitely going to want to do that. So some ways that you could enter the giveaway is subscribing to the blog. I'll be posting it on different social media platforms, and I'll let you know when it's going to be and what the piece looks like, and I'll give you all of her contact information so that way you could reach out to her. And if you win, I can't wait to see a picture of you with it so we can put it on social media with that piece. So
yeah,
thank you so much for doing that, because I want to win it. I'm gonna have to commission you to do something for me because I'm gonna be jealous of the winner. Thanks for joining us on the blog, and I just really appreciate you taking the time to talk to everybody and just being really open with us about what it's like to be an artist. All right. See you guys later.
It's the rest, but it's the longer that I stand.